With us today, Ken Natori, VP of Finance at Natori and Company. Ken, were November sales as bad as all the reports depicted?
I wouldn't really depict them as bad. I think what you have to do is really look at what you're comparing year over year. So in November of 2008, we had a terrible situation. Department stores, at least at the high end where we operate, had placed big orders in that spring. And between spring and November, the world basically fell apart. So what did they do? They had bloated inventories, and they had a customer that they knew wasn't going to come. Their strategy in November of last year was really, let's get all this stuff out the door, which meant marking stuff down. Deep discounts as much as they can. They said, this stuff is not going to sell for full price. Let's get it out the door. The situation in November of 2009 is obviously much different. We had very cautious orders in the spring of 2009. And if anything, right now, inventory levels are maybe too low. And what we're seeing from our department stores is they want more stuff. So they're obviously not trying to push stuff out the door because they don't have enough, meaning that they're being much more cautious in terms of their markdowns and really being much more disciplined as well. So to compare 2008 to 2009 and say 2009 was a disaster, really, I don't think is a fair assessment. I think if you want to look at this from a bigger perspective, let's look at gross margins at the end of the year.
So and nobody saw the end of the world coming last year, and now they did.
Exactly. I mean, that's the problem with such long lead times. It's hard to forecast, and they've made some errors both in 2008 and 2009. I think if you really want to assess how business is, let's look at gross margins from the department stores at the end of the year, and let's look to see what their orders are in spring of 2010 for next fall. And I think you'll see a much more optimistic picture.
Great. So how are things trending into December now?
We think they're okay. Once again, I think at the end of November, we didn't see the markdowns, so the sales numbers weren't as good. I think we saw mostly a customer at the end of for Black Monday and for Black Friday and for Cyber Monday that was sort of trained to look at discounts, and they didn't maybe react as well to the full price merchandise as people had hoped. But I still think there is optimism. Despite double-digit unemployment, we do see people with jobs continuing to spend. So I think while the numbers aren't great so far, they definitely could be a lot worse, and we're feeling pretty good that the next couple weeks are going to shape up pretty well.
So are you having to offer deeper discounts now to meet those expectations?
So we, our business model, we really sell.
Obviously, you're in the high end of the market.
Right, we're in the high end of the market. We sell to the department stores, and we don't control how they mark stuff down. Our only direct-to-consumer outlet for us is Natori.com, which we operate ourselves. And because of our model, where we're really dependent on the retailers, we don't discount aggressively, right? We don't want to upset them. So it's not our decision to mark stuff down. But what we have seen from the department stores who do mark stuff down is that they're being much more disciplined about it, and certainly much more disciplined than they were compared to last year.
So what is your outlook into 2010?
We're feeling pretty good. I help run the finance part of our business. In terms of modeling our business and trying to be responsible, we're sort of modeling 2010 expecting flattish sales. I think if you asked us all internally how things will actually pan out, I think we'd be a little more optimistic. But just to be responsible, we're a medium-sized, family-run business. We're modeling our expenses and everything based on flat sales for 2010. But hopefully, we'll see. We're feeling definitely much better than we did compared to earlier this year.
Great, thanks, Ken.